Hey Blizzard Nation, this is Joey Bonadonna. That's head coach Corey Roberson. Welcome back to the Green Bay Blizzard Coaches Show. It is going on week 8 now. It's been a while since we had our last show. We had the Tucson game. We had a bye week, game against Arizona last week. So it's been a while. How's it been going?
It's been okay. I mean, you know, we win some, we lose some, right? So we 1-1 in that period of time. The young men had the opportunity to go home, see their family and friends, you know, love on their family and friends or whatnot. And, you know, we came back and, you know, we just had a game this past Friday. So, you know, a well-deserved bye week for our young men to come back and, you know, put on a show as well. You know, we'll talk about that this last game here in a second.
So we'll start with the Tucson game. That was week 5. Coming into that one, 2-2 off a loss at Bismarck. You know, that's a game early on. That was Tucson's first game of the year, first game of their season with Coach Wooten over there. First game with him with the Sugar Skulls. A solid team over there, and it was a good win to come out with. What were your initial thoughts coming off of that win?
I mean, of course, you know, we're always happy with a win. I think for me personally, that's the first time me and Coach, I beat Coach Wooten. Doing this in my 2 years as the head coach, and so that was personally satisfying. Like I said, Coach Wooten, I got a lot of respect for him. He's a great coach, right? You know, he's a United Mode champion. He won a championship, 2-time Coach of the Year. We knew that team was going to come in, be well coached, well prepared. It was a hard-fought game, and our guys, you know, we've been battle tested already, and we persevered, you know, and we held them off in the end. But you know, Tucson is going to be a great team.
You're getting a solid win like that. You go into 3-2, going to the bye week. Like you said, give the players a chance to go home to see their families. But what do you do over that bye week?
We work, baby.
Yeah, stay working, no rest.
Yeah, no. I like to say, and I say this as a running joke with some of the coaches. Bye week is for players, right? You know, we don't get a day off. We work 365 days a year, and that's including with the players. Even though they went home, we asked them to do some things at home as well. But as far as me, I'm always evaluating talent. I'm finding a way that how can we get better. As an organization, as a team, you know, on the football operations side, what can we do to get better for our players, for our fans, and for us as a whole as we move forward? And that's what we worked on in the off week. So it really wasn't even though we won that game against Tucson, we still got a lot of work to do. And that's how we approached it that off week.
And you put it, you still had work to do. You came into a game, it was a tough, well-fought game there against Arizona. Really a tale of two halves, to put it simply. The first half, down 27-0 at half. You know, what do you say to yourself, to the team, going in at halftime in that locker room?
So a lot of things went through my head at that point. Down 27-0, going into halftime. I mean, you know, no one wants to be in that situation, right? You know, especially not in an indoor game. No one wants to be in a situation where you're down 27-0. But knowing that it's a long football game, you still have 30 minutes to go. You know, anything can happen, right? And we saw that. I think we ran out of time, right? I think a lot of teams could say that, but if you look at that game, you could clearly say if we had maybe 15 to 20 more seconds, that might be a different ball game. But things that we say to the young men at halftime is, I mean, I think it comes down, we're in a dog fight. They taking the fight to us. It's about time. I think it's time for us to show up to this fight, right? And I think they responded very well. The young men, I mean, they responded, right? And we saw the results of that just a little bit too late. But it's sink or swim at that point. You know what I mean? Are we going to tuck our tails, or we going to come back swinging? So.
Absolutely. It was, you know, it really showed up to the fight there in the second half. It was 34-14 in favor of your squad there in the second half, outscoring the Rattlers by 20 points. On the stat sheet, I mean, it was relatively similar considering the first half. Arizona had 268 yards on 49 plays. The Blizzard had 213 on 41 plays. Talking about the offense coming out there in the second half, 34 points. If my memory serves me correctly, I think that's the most scored by the Blizzard in a half this season so far. How do you think about the offensive performance there in that second half?
So one of the other things that we talked about at halftime was we felt as though we could run the ball on them. And the offensive line, of course, the O-line always say, we can run the ball, we can run the ball. That's what they love to do is run the ball. So we felt as though we could run the ball, and that's how we got the scoring started in the second half, running the ball with Kerryon Johnson taking it 20, 30-something yards, on the play, the third play of the half. So, offenses, they came to life. We had some stops, and we stopped ourselves in the first half. I mean, Arizona, they're a good defense, good team. They stopped us. We stopped ourselves. We saw our miscues, with missed routes and wrong routes and execution or whatnot in the first half. But the second half, I think we executed at a high level. So that was one of the things that we talked about, at the break, was how can we be successful, and that was to run the ball.
And Kerryon Moore was our masterful performance of the game. He had 8 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown. His long for 37 on the second play of scrimmage there in the second half. Had 2 catches. Both of them went for scores, including the one that brought it to a one-possession ball game there in the last 2 minutes. Just talk about Kerryon and as he just walked in, how he's been a great addition to this squad here in 2021.
No, he's been a blessing for us and the team as a whole. Kerryon was one of our late signees. We were committed to some other guys, and when Kerryon came available, which he's right here. How you doing, baby? We're gonna have you speak right here. We're gonna share the mic with you, baby. So Kerryon he's been a blessing for us. We had an injury that happened. Kerryon didn't play the first game. He played that second game, and he's been off and running since. Like I said, he's been a blessing to us in the organization. He's a good character kid, good young man. He's not a kid. He's a good character young man, and he's been every bit of advertised coming out of Winston-Salem. So we are fortunate and happy to have him with us. We're blessed to have him, and the sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely. Now Kerryon, that we have you here. You just talk about how you felt your performance was. Obviously didn't get the result you wanted with the win, but how do you feel your performance went last Friday night?
Once we turned it on, I felt like my performance was outstanding. One of the defense players, Bone, he told me, when you talk more, we have a little more energy, and we came out, flat. And that's something I wasn't used to, so I just picked it up a little bit and, started playing my game.
Just talk a little bit about your 2 receptions for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns, especially on that last one in the last 2 minutes, making moves in open space, getting to the sideline, running downhill. Just kind of give us a taste of how your game operates across the board.
Well, I know I could catch. My grandfather taught me how to catch at a young age, so that's one of the parts of my game, and I also can run the ball as well. I just played ball like it was just scramble situation. The first touchdown, the first reception I caught, I was trying to play football, so I gave Dame another option, to throw it, and I just went for it and caught it. And the second one, me and Dame and the rest of the boys been telling him this, I was another option. Don't forget about me. And finally he hit me, and I caught the ball and did what I had to do. The fellas, it was like, well, we didn't know you had that in you now. And I was just like, well, I've been had it, but it's just, it's time for me to show a little more than what I could do.
So after your 3 all-purpose touchdowns on Friday, you're now the league leader in all-purpose touchdowns with 8. How do you feel? Yeah, well, that is a great accomplishment. How do you feel your performance as a running back compares to around the league?
I'm versatile, so I could do anything. I can get in the slot or catch from out of the backfield. So I'm gonna just keep playing ball and let my shoulder pads do the talking, and back my team up, and they'll back me up and I'll back them up. So, I don't really have too much to say about that, but just playing ball.
And another play that I wanted to bring up on the stat sheet, not really a positive one, but you go down there on the interception and you lay a big hit on the defensive back. Has tackling always been, did you play defense in high school? Like, has tackling always been a part of your system? Or?
Well, I did play cornerback in I did play cornerback in high school, but in college I wasn't able to play special teams because I was one of the star players. They didn't want to get me hurt, so I just took advantage of here. And coach, he always picking me about my blocking and stuff, so I wanted to show him I was physical on that other side of the ball too. So.
Yeah, we've seen you over the last couple of games making some plays on special teams. Big body able to lay a hit on someone. You showed it there on that play against the returning defensive back. Just last question: coming to Green Bay, how have you enjoyed your time in the city with the team overall? How have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it. Like I was explaining to these guys earlier, Coach and Mr. Larry and Mr. Capley, they gave us a golden opportunity to come out here and play, and we all have to take advantage of it. And I got a lot of fire to me, so I've been trying to prove myself since a young bull. So. Whichever way I could, this was a great opportunity for me to come because it's a faster game and you have to be faster and smarter, quicker. So I appreciate the organization and Coach Roberson and the coaching staff for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, carry on more, everyone. Thanks for coming on to talk about the last game with us.
One more thing. My favorite thing about Green Bay, I go down to the river and just sit there and just, sit at the river and listen to the waves and stuff. That's my favorite thing. I really like the water.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you catch a fish? I saw on your snap like you had a big old. I don't even know what's in the. Was it like a muskie or something?
Hey, coach, you can't be snitching on me.
I
don't got no fishing license.
Oh, you got no fishing license.
No.
Nobody watching this. No, he showed us that he could block too. So,
okay,
we don't need to have that conversation no more.
Okay,
so,
good.
So
good.
Carry on is in the clear. He don't have to say, Coach, question me on my blocking skills. I got to prove a point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, carry on more, everyone. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Hey. You'll be all right.
All right, second guy we want to bring on up here, Trey Saunders with 7 returns for 183 yards and a touchdown. Trey has been one of the best special teams players in our league. Has won Special Teams Player of the Week 4 times. Will probably be in the running this week. Trey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So Trey, we've talked about it on the show every now and then, and on the broadcasts. The special teams has really been a big positive of this squad early on in 2021. Let's talk about how you've made your presence shown in games, especially on special teams.
We take a lot of pride into that practice, you know what I'm saying? Just as a group, taking the pride in the third phase of the game, which being special teams. So we get a lot of time on it, whether it be kickoff or kick return, but them guys be selling out for me, Coach Parker, he be on us, he make people want to be out there, but most importantly, them guys be selling out, so it's not just all me back there,
So on that return, that was your second one of the season, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. Your second one of the season. Just kind of take us through your thought process of taking that one out of the back of the end zone, finding a hole up the middle, and you're taking it to the house.
Honestly, I'm going to tell the truth. We got cussed out at halftime. Because we kind of, like I said, we take a lot of pride in this, so we know when we make mistakes as far as even getting tackled by the kicker. Like, that's something we take pride in, and I got tackled by the kicker. So on that one, I told Kieslow before the play, like, hey, I'm coming left. And it happened how we expected it to happen, and we got a touchdown out of it. So I think it brought us a good spark. And once again, everybody sold out, everybody bought in. And no matter how many we get, whether it's 1 kick return, whether it's 10 kick returns, every time we get the ball, everybody on that group feels like we're going to score every time.
So, Coach, I want to ask you if it's still early on in the season, but how would you make your case for Trey for Special Teams Player of the Year when all is said and done?
Since everybody like to look at stats, it don't lie. Look at the stats. I mean, clearly he's the best. If not the best, he's probably in the top 2. I don't know who number 1. I think it's him, but it's clear that he's proven that he is an elite returner in the IFL.
Talking about the history of having good returners here around Green Bay, the legendary B.J. Hill, who was around here for multiple years, Eric Thomas, who is in the house tonight, has made his presence shown across his IFL career, and a multitude of other guys who are either still in the league or are still. Are there any others that come to your mind that?
No, not to this status. I think it's a hidden gem, right? You know, we understand at this level, a lot of our young men, in order for them to get across the street, because I say across the street because that's Lambeau. The Packers are straight across the street from us, so right across the street. A lot of us, some people take it for granted. You know, a lot of these young men haven't played special teams in years. They come from being the man at their college. You know, they was the superstar. And now they're here in this situation where as though now it's one of my coaches, I like the way he put it, it's professional JUCO. You know, it's an opportunity to make it to the next level. So we're not going to beat out the draft picks that the Packers just drafted or in the NFL. So we have to be, one of our owners told us, 21% better than the lowest man on the NFL roster. That's what a GM told him. We have to be 21% better because they took the time in to recruit this guy, evaluate him, and our guys bought into that system. In order for us to make it, we have to sell out on this. You know what I mean? And I think about the last, 3 or 4 champions in this league, they all sold out on special teams, and that's where they get their work at, each day in and day out. So we made it a point of our recruiting process is, if you don't play special teams, how can you play for us? Because I can find a receiver, right? Trey knows that. I can find a receiver. But if you're going to play special teams, and he's just fortunate enough to be the recipient of the ball on special teams, on kickoff return, but the young men that's blocking for him, which he talked about, they selling out. They're selling out for him. You know what I mean? And I think that's the ultimate team award because everyone has bought into what we are talking about.
Right. So you put the emphasis on special teams, and it's really paid off this year so far. They've made a lot of big plays to help win games, and Trey, you've been a big part of that. Last question, like I asked Carrie on, what's your favorite part about Green Bay? How have you enjoyed your time here?
I spend a lot of time eating. I'm not going to lie. I probably go to Longhorns about once or twice a week. So I spend a lot of my time eating food, and I mean, now we got some good weather, even though I'm from Ohio, but yeah, we got some good weather now. So
yeah, wonderful weather this week. Trey, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck the rest of the season. So to wrap up talking about the Arizona game, honestly, when all is said and done, obviously there's things you want to fix, but a one-possession loss to Arizona is it's not a win, but I would say it's respectable to come out and show fight there in that second half. I give great kudos to you and your squad for being able to stick along with it and really fight back there in that second half. Final thoughts about that game against Arizona?
I mean, the guys showed true character. We persevered. They showed resilience. I talked about at halftime. I mean, we could have easily tucked our tails, but we didn't. We kept on fighting. We stayed in the box. We stayed in the fight, and we fought our way back. On all 3 phases of the game, right? You know what I mean? We continued to, play sound defense. I think we got some improvement to do over there, as well as special teams. We have some improvement to do in all aspects of the game, but we found a way to keep clawing away, and we, like I said, we just ran out of time. But the character of our young men really showed that second half, because at the end, 27-0, that could be demoralizing, right? So, the only thing I can say is, we fought hard. There's no moral victories here. At the end of the day, we want to win the ball game.
Right.
But we have some things that we could build off of, right? So we learned a lot about who we are as a whole, and I think that's going to go a long ways as we maneuver through the rest of the season. So as we continue to build on what we had in the second half, hopefully that carries over into our next game, and we're going to do our part as a coaching staff. The players, I respect that they're going to do their part as well, or I expect our expectations, and we're going to finish the season strong.
And one more point I want to bring up before we talk about the next game against Louisville. Bakari Triggs, defending Defensive Rookie of the Year, he snagged down his first interception of the season, had 10 total tackles as well. To reference someone like you mentioned, plays across the street, Jair Alexander, while his interception numbers aren't up, that shows that no one really throws his way. Same goes for Triggs. Talk about his performance and how he's really been the shutdown corner and a big veteran help in that secondary.
Yeah, no, Triggs is one of our captains. He's the heart and soul on the defense in that secondary for sure. That young man, a lot of guys respect him, and they listen to him, and he's an extension of us as a coaching staff, right? He's one of our captains, so to have him back there and the respect. Triggs came to us one time and talked to me about maybe I need to rotate. I need to sub myself in and sub myself out, and I'm like, here it is. Like, have the respect. Understand that you don't have to always be in the stat line to contribute, because you're doing your part. A lot of teams respect who you are and what you were able to do in 2019. So let's be okay with that. I'm not saying that you're taking half of the field away, but understand that they respect who you are. And when teams try them, they try them underneath. When they try them over the top, we see the results. He has a high IQ level in the secondary. So we talk about his IQ is off the charts. He's a very cerebral player, and he's been a blessing for us. We're happy he signed back.
And then we'll move on to the game this upcoming week against the Louisville Extreme in Louisville. Talking about a road trip, you only had one of those in the early part of this season. That was at Bismarck. Your second road trip of the year going to Louisville. What's the prep like this week for the drive down to Kentucky?
Well, now that we have a road game under our belt, I think, and with a loss, let me add, I think we're going to do some things differently. I believe our veterans are going to step up a little more and giving our young men, our rookies, what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Of course, we got the curfews and all that stuff in place, but it's the things that before, because we try to get there at a decent time so that the guys are off their feet before we have team meal the night before. But I think, Louisville is playing very well now. They are competing. They playing hard. Like I said, I knew Stout was going to have them young men flying around playing, being competitive. They put on a good show. They came up short this last game or whatnot in Massachusetts. But, our focus is to always go out and win. At the end of the day, that's all what matters. So, when we get to Louisville, when Louisville go, we still got a few practices to get through this week, and that's where our focus is getting better, getting healthy, and going and doing what we do best. Refining those tools.
Yeah. So you mentioned it. It's a familiar opponent in Louisville. You've already played them once this season, and you'll play them again a couple weeks down the road as well. But they've kind of been a different team over these last couple weeks than they were. The first time you played them, they played very competitively with top teams like Frisco, Sioux Falls, Massachusetts, who we had a good game with already this year. What do you expect from Louisville when you play them?
Well, they're a well-coached team. Coached out, I have a lot of respect for him. So he's been around the game for a long time, and I expect nothing less than a hard-fought game. I think, they do some things as well. They switch some things up on offense and defense. Trying to mix it up a little bit and what they've done in the past, and like I said, I just try to focus on us and try to how can we be the best version of us. So that we got a team that's in our way of what our goal is, and we're gonna go out and compete and be competitive, and we'll see where it lies.
Absolutely. So that'll just about wrap it up for this episode of the Green Bay Blizzard Coaches Show. Next game, it's going to be on the road at Louisville this Saturday. Next home game, we'll have another show next week to talk about the game next Friday against the Bismarck Bucks. But yep, that'll just about wrap it up. I'm Joey Bonadonna. That's head coach Corey Roberson. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.